Well, hello and welcome to Module 2, where we will explore Facebook Content 101. The goals for this training: understand the true purpose of your message. We will establish your Facebook communication frequency, format and style. And we'll look at how to design and deliver a content plan for your Facebook marketing. So let's get started. In lesson 1, we'll look at Facebook content. Lesson 2, competition and events. And lesson 3, Facebook video and live broadcasting, a very important element of content that we must consider in all our social media and digital marketing initiatives. Let's look at Facebook content. And we'll start off with a quote: "The only way to win at content marketing is for the reader to say, 'This was created especially for me.'" Particularly the more in our first module where we looked at the Facebook foundations, we talked about attracting our ideal audience. And part of the main approach to attracting your ideal audience is really identifying who that ideal customer is, and giving that ideal, a customer persona of that one person that we want to identify as our ideal visitor, ideal guest, ideal customer for our business. So the more we get to know who they are, the more we can serve them content that will make them feel exactly like that this was written for me, this was created for me, this business is my solution. So the goals for this lesson we have is the primary purpose of creating your own content versus advertising, and the different types of content that you need to consider to really make your Facebook strategy come alive. The challenge is that although the web's been around for 2 decades now, many small to medium businesses still have limited and ineffective online presence. So what's content marketing? When we look at content marketing, this subscribes to the notion that delivering high quality, relevant, valuable information that's timely to prospects and customers will drive profitable visitor action. So as marketers and as business owners, we need to work a lot harder now to be able to make those emotional connections to attract the exact people that we want. So when it comes to, even though the internet's been around for a long time, we still have a long way to go in creating digital assets for our business that can do the work for us when we're not there. So we can make our websites work for us 24/7. So after hours, our presence, our online presence, and through our content and through our online marketing initiatives, our work can be working for us even when we are not present, to be able to talk over the phone or send reply to an email immediately. We want to create all of those answers that our customers have through what we create and what we curate in our marketing initiatives. So the type of marketing that involves the creation and sharing of online material that does not explicitly promote a brand but is intended to stimulate interest in your products and services. So this goes back to us taking that role as educators in our business to educate our market and our audiences what our big why is and why they should come along the journey with us, and what are the benefits of our experiences, our products, our services, what makes us different to the guy down the road or the girl next door or our main competitors. What makes us unique is directly aligned to what value we give back to the customer. Content is definitely everywhere. Everything that we do by way of publishing material on any of our online digital online platforms, including our emails, is content. Its product is content, sales is content, customer service is content, event content, employee generated content, user generated content, so what our customers are sharing and saying about us, marketing and campaign content, Even advertising is content. We still have to put an element of creativity in our copy, in what we're writing in our headlines, in what we're writing in our text, what we're producing in our images, in our graphics. Everything revolves around being products of content. So what's the opportunity for you as a business? And why must every business create content in any industry? First of all, it gives you credibility. It puts you ahead of the pack as the leading influence in your space, okay? It keeps your website current with shareable info. So when we're talking, a lot of what we're talking, and the main reason why I've put content as a module here, is that we can't do Facebook effectively if we're not producing a variety of content that is going to add value to our audience. So certainly keeping your website current with the likes of a news update, product update, reviews and testimonials from your customers, new blog posts in about, your industry, or the top 10 things customers must know, and of the like. That gives you an opportunity to share it on your socials and get traffic back to your website. But it also gives others opportunity to share your info that might add value to their audiences as well. Opportunity to further connect with content that matters to your audience. So this gives you that real great lead in being able to make they can get to know you a little bit better through what content you produce. It definitely, content creators are leaders, and this gives you an opportunity to lead the way. Drive traffic to your website. Of course, the more we can create on our website as new material that can be shared, the more opportunity you have to drive traffic there. Now here's a little diagram, and I love this because it really gives you a visual of where the sweet spot is in the solution that we provide through our content material. So you look at the left-hand side, we have, this is you, this is your knowledge, your skill, your experience, okay, as the expert and the main go-to guy and go-to girl in your business, but not just in your business, in your field, in your industry. Then you look to the right, this is your customers' heart igniting with their passions, their pain points, their problems, their solutions. So this is where the sweet spot in the middle is that your knowledge, your skill, and your expertise provides the solution to their passions and their pain points, okay? Everything that we produce by way of content is hitting those two elements together, where we identify what do they care about, what do our customers really want, and then for us to be able to work back from that and say, well, what can we create to produce those solutions? Content inspires. It is meant to be a way for you to connect. It is meant to be a way for you to empower your customers, to inform them, to instruct them, to educate them. And this is where we really go into this space of edu marketing. Now here I am, I'm in a teaching mode, I'm sharing information with you and teaching you the benefits of Facebook and how to create and generate content to share on your Facebook page. Essentially, we're all in this business in this day and age when it comes to marketing and sharing our knowledge online. We're edu marketing. So instead of selling to potential customers through advertising and cold calling and all of those methods, creating content and looking at a content marketing strategy is a way that you look to inform and educate them instead, okay? So it's a more organic way, it's a value-added way of doing things that, your customers can say, wow, if they're doing this for free, imagine if I paid them how much more value I would receive. It's provide your visitors with the insight and information they need to make informed purchasing decisions. At the end of the day, people are parting with their hard-earned money to make a decision whether they're going to spend it with you or they're going to spend it with someone else, or whether it's going to be on your product or on another product. So it's up to us to educate and give that reassurance that they have made the best decisions by choosing you. It's less about pushing messages out to people, so it's less about broadcasting your message out and more about empowering them to make those decisions and making them feel good about it. Creating a content mission statement. This is certainly a good way for you to start when you're looking at your content plan. And this is something also that it's not just good for your Facebook marketing. This is can only creating a good content mission statement and strategy. You can use Facebook to enhance it. Okay, so some key questions for you to ask yourself when it comes to some key elements of your mission statement is: who's your core target audience, what will be delivered, and why does this matter to them? Here's an example of an engineering firm. Now, I always say if an engineering firm can smash out of the ballpark a blog feature on their website, I think any industry can. So the way that they looked at their mission statement, this Indian Corp, is they basically said to themselves, we are going to go down this path of creating a blog post because we want to help engineers answer the most challenging industrial solder questions. So they want to be the provider of information to help engineers have the solution and answer those really, really tricky questions for them. What could your mission statement look like? Here's mine. So my Institute of Excellence blog, when it came to looking at my mission statement, I came up with, it's a website with simple tips, tools and strategies to help small business owners and marketers get the most out of their marketing. So when it comes to creating content, I can look at this and stick to this theme of keeping things with simple tips, sharing tools, sharing strategies, but with the main intention that is going to help the small business owner and marketer. So here's a little exercise for you to do in your own time where you can create your own mission statement, where you define your audience, who's your core target, who is your core target market, clarifying what you will deliver. So what will actually be delivered? Will it be an email every week or every month? Will it be a blog post? Will it be a video? Will it be an interview? Okay, so have a think about what could you deliver and identifying the key outcome, your main intention of why does this matter to your audience. We can't stress that enough. Why is this important to them first, not to us? Your content must absolutely be relevant. It must be timely and consistent. And one of the key pressing things that I always get asked is I never know what to post. And here's a lot of ideas for you to take in terms of what to post and what to create when it comes to your content initiatives. The importance of content is be what people are interested in. So be the interest. Be the trusted source of information. And certainly be so helpful to your customers that they make a useful decision. Opportunity to use your experience, your resources and magic to serve and win in your business, region and state and within your local community. The different types of content to share with you. So the different types of content that we look at are blog posts. So here's an example of a blog post, but what we can see here of a local business is that their last blog post that they published was in 2014. So when we're talking about being timely and relevant, we really want to make sure that we're sticking to our plan. So we're making, when it comes to frequency, format and style, we really want to nail down what is what is realistic, and what are the resources that I have that I can produce this on a regular basis. It's really, really important. So sometimes, say my former life at Global Ballooning, we would have a quarterly newsletter that would go out, and we would put all that. So it wasn't over, we took the approach of quality over quantity. So we produced 4 newsletters, we translated into 4 pieces of content for our website, but they were well researched and well executed pieces of content that added a lot of value to our audience. So that's something that you have to consider. This is a great example that I love to share with everyone. Is from 360Q in Queenscliff. Their content, not only do they share, their latest release in their latest vintage, they also have here, they created a blog post around Fred and Pat's 60th wedding anniversary. So actually making their guests the star and the core material of their blog post. Because what's great is they took photos of the couple, they shared their story as a blog post. So certainly for others that are looking to hold a function there, that looks like it's a newspaper article. So that would have made them feel very, very special. But you have to think, not only did it make Fred and Pat feel special, the next in line, the ideal audience that they want to attract, who might then want to be also celebrating their 20th, 30th, 40th wedding anniversary, will be inspired by this. Here's another one from Alkena Lodge. I always love to share this story because this is certainly, I find it very difficult to find, particularly in tourism, to find websites that have that actually have regular blog posting. And this I loved because they have a whale. They had created a blog post that said whale watching on the Great Ocean Road. And certainly when I had stumbled onto this, I thought, wow, I didn't even know you could see whales from anywhere in Victoria, let alone in Great Ocean Road. So I really like this because it ticked all of those boxes of being informative. It wasn't about them, it was about their destination and what's something that's relevant and happening in their community. It was educational. It was definitely inspirational that I can drive 2.5 hours away and have the opportunity to potentially see a whale. So it just ticked all of the boxes for me, and this is certainly a business and a blog format that we can aspire to. Video, very, very important piece of content, particularly on Facebook now. Facebook have accelerated with what they have done with video on business pages. So Facebook video is now, any video that you produce on your Facebook page essentially becomes part of your Facebook business channel. So they went into competition with YouTube in 2015, and they've really trumped. There are more native videos uploaded onto Facebook than there are on YouTube. And that's something we have to really take seriously and put video into the mix. And I would apply a video strategy towards that. So what could that look like? Could that be, it doesn't have to be lengthy. It can be, I mentioned interviews before. It can be behind the scenes. It can be beautiful views. It can be something that is timely and relevant, that's happening in your business at the moment. So have a think about these things. And also, one of the latest features with video on Facebook pages is that you can now have a video as your cover photo. So your cover photo on your Facebook page no longer just has to be an image. It can either be a video, or you can even do like a slideshow of up to 5 images. Now this is a video that was published on my Facebook page, but you can see here the tab on the left, there's an entire tab called the videos there. And this is essentially your Facebook channel. And up the top, you can select any one of your videos to be the video that is featured on your channel. Infographics, now a tool like Canva, I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But certainly if you had any data or piece of information that was quite dry or bland, you could bring it to life with the likes of an infographic. Guides are fantastic. Top 10 things to do in your region, top 10 things to do in your state, top 10 places to eat, top 10 anything in your industry, top 10 products, top 10 things you didn't know about us versus someone else. So this is something that you can list work really well. Product reviews are fantastic pieces of content, because you can think a product review doesn't have to just come in the form of a blog post. You could have a weekly product review day. So you could name Wednesday's product review. Now again, depending on what type of business you have, if you are a reseller of lots of different products, you could have a product review every day. But if you only have a handful of products, you could not only you do reviews or have others review your product, invite customers into your organization to review your product, but also you can go out and review other complementing products and services to your business. So something that complements what you do, you can be the influencer and go out and seek and report back to serve your audience. It's all really good stuff that works amazingly on Facebook. How-to guides, fantastic. So this is a law firm that's created a blog called Tips on How to Book a Hotel Room. What type of tips and how-tos can you create for your business? And remember, not just your business, for your industry, that will help someone have a step-by-step. Now you think about things that you search for online when you're looking for when you have a problem and you're seeking a solution, and how helpful that is to you, particularly when it's given to you for free, and how much more credibility and also, how much higher you would regard that brand, particularly if you find yourself repeatedly going to them for information and solution. Lists are very, very popular. So anything, and I've taken these screen grabs of lists and how heavily used they are in magazines and print media, and it's just the same in digital media. So anywhere we can kind of chunk down and put a metric around particularly in a title, it just tells your reader, and it just kind of gives us a heads up that it's going to be an easy read and we can skim through. And even though maybe we won't read word for word, we are still interested what the 7 surprising career mistakes we should make. Okay, so that's a really good spin on words. And I look at things like this, whether it's newspaper articles or magazine covers, and look at this. I think for any of us in any industry, on any business, we can take on some inspiration in the way they've played on words, and then we can model or recreate that to make it relevant for our content. Case studies are also fantastic use of content that you can use, that you can showcase and share on Facebook. Any type of case study, you're really looking at 3 elements. And here's an example of case studies that Twitter has done for business to showcase their business solutions. And here's a perfect example with Airbnb, where they looked at what challenge they had, what solution Twitter provided them, and then what were the results. Particularly for those of you that are in a business to business environment, and businesses really look for proof in the pudding. Don't just tell me what you can do for me, but show me what you can do for me, using case studies of what you've done and solutions you've provided for previous clients, and giving it real estate. So there's no point in us doing all this hard work and just let it sit in our heads or tucked away in a folder somewhere as a fulfilled customer order or customer experience. Bring that to life by putting a case study together and having it sit on your website, and that is gold shareable content that is not only good for business, It's amazing reassurance for your customers to be able to see things like that. So you just have to think, people are always looking and they're always searching. So for you to take the time to do this stuff in what we're sharing out there, in the way that we're using social media, can only benefit the greater good of your business, and certainly give the utmost best service to your customer before they've even become a customer. Interviews are also a great way. Interviews, and I look at this as interviewing other businesses that are in your market. So you might have partners that you collaborate with, suppliers, you might have, neighbors that you complement each other. And also your customers. Running some interviews with your customers is also a great way. So you can have them do a testimonial for you on a video, or you can actually say, can I interview you about your journey with us? It's great. This is an example of, I used to run some networking events, and from being a networking event where I used to just teach, I used to do kind of little teaching segments in the networking events. I translating them to make them more interesting. I invited some very special guests, and I interviewed them rather than putting my guests under some more pressure to create a presentation as such. It was relaxed, and one of the best things that I had done is put a video camera in front of us, because had I not done that, that would have stayed, this was back in 2015. That long gone, and it would have been completely forgotten. You can never recreate these moments. So actually capturing them by way of a video or audio, we have no excuse to not do this, because we all travel around with cameras and videos in our pockets and in our handbags. But this was certainly one of the best, that was my best brainwave moment, to get a camera in front of us, and then I had content to upload on video on YouTube, and I did the same thing on Facebook. So I didn't upload it on YouTube and then share the link on Facebook. I did them to both independently of each other. And podcast is another one where you can do actual audio content. So when people want to break from the screen, they just want to listen to something in the car, on their run, or on their walk. Podcast is another format. And this way, with a podcast, it can also sit onto a website. Can sit as a page on your website as well. Live broadcasting. So live broadcasting has been I've had an amazing journey with doing live broadcasts. To the point where I've had the opportunity to interview winners after the State Tourism Awards and also the National Tourism Awards over in Perth. And there's nothing quite to capture the real emotion and what's happening then, to be able to capture that on video in real time. So engagement on the Australian Tourism Awards website went absolutely through the roof. And I think it still would have had impact if it was just video, but nowhere near as much as it did, because it was actually broadcast live and people joined us who couldn't be there on the night but probably would, and had great interest to learn who were the winners, that they were able to come and experience exactly what was going on. So why does this matter? This goes back to my very point in our previous module, that we need to respect the property that we own, which is our website. And we have to respect the fact that all of these social media tools, including Facebook right up the top there, should be our secondary marketing tactics to be able to drive as many people as we can to our website. As many people, we can use the likes of Facebook to share this type of content for people that may have never heard of our brands or our businesses before. So by way of using these platforms by way of acquiring new customers and as an acquisition strategy is really significant and can have great lucrative and successful results. Important things to note here is that there is no one size fits all solution. So when it comes to your content and your communication planning, you really have to look at various formats and styles of free content that you can produce. Now, I've given you a smorgasbord of all the different options that are out there. That doesn't mean that you are going to go out there, or that I would even want you to go out there and do all of those things. And, starting with one thing and doing that one thing really well would be an amazing way, to begin. So this is your magic, this is your art, this is your craft for you to have the ability to innovate the way of you doing the best version of you, and the way that you know how, for to bring out the best in not only your business and your brand, but also your team, and using your staff to engage your staff in being part of this as well. And most importantly, your customers. The best formula to do this is doing what is right for you with the time and the resources available to you right now. Now, like a lot of us, myself included, who might be flying solo, or you might be understaffed, or you're under-resourced, we have to take these things into consideration. But that is no excuse to not do anything if you are in that situation. And that's why I really respect that you take the time to learn these things, to see, well, what can I do for myself to help my business thrive. Create it, curate it, share it, and they will come. But if it is not scheduled, it will not get done. So part of this is really sticking. Look at all of these options that I've just presented to you. Take what you know can be doable. I don't want you to be too easy on yourself. Stretch yourself with some goals here, but certainly then stick to a plan. And speaking of plans, this is what a social media or a Facebook calendar or a plan could look like. Remember, we talked about themes in our first module of Talking Facebook Foundations. So this is done on an Excel spreadsheet. At the very top right hand corner here, I've got my themes and I've color coded them, whether it's destinations, seasonal campaigns, could be an ebook that you might want to share, product, a blog post, a partner post. And then by way of your own frequency, you can say, okay, on Mondays, I want to share a product, something about a product, my ebook, and a seasonal campaign. And this is the first week. On the second day of the first week, I want to share something around my package. So, this is quite an ambitious Facebook plan, but certainly makes doing even a simple plan like this around your content, and then scheduling it out in a plan of where you will place your posts on Facebook. Just have a think of what the variety and how much you could better serve your audience. So start off with a blank canvas like this and go for it, and make this your own, or go for it and just recreate something that makes sense for you to replicate something similar. Graphics like a pro. So when it comes to content, having the right graphics is, or outsourcing or creating any type of graphic can be expensive, but there are some amazing tools out there that can help you do that yourself. Starting with Canva, my absolute favorite. For those of you that have been in my trainings before, there's not a training where Canva doesn't get a mention. I'm a big fan, and this is something that you can go in and trial. There's a free option, and you certainly don't need to go and buy the business subscription, but at a minimum, go and sign up and have a go at that one. Typorama, I've got some apps to share with you as well. Typorama is an app that you can go in and be able to overlay an image with text, but you can also watermark your images with your logo, and it can all be done through an app via your phone. Site and the site and app. So this has a website and an app called Animoto. So this is great for video creation. Spark Adobe, another fantastic where you can do images or moving images. So you have the choice of either doing video or graphics or still images. And you can see down the bottom there, you can also customize them to different platforms. So they have the different dimensions already set for YouTube, for Pinterest, for Instagram, and of course for Facebook. Legend is a great little app because it can animate text. So if you want to share a quirky quote, or maybe you want to share a testimonial as a quote, Legend will actually can make that into 6-second video. So it just makes it a little bit more interesting than something that's normally static. Facebook mobile app. So here's an additional resource for you of some additional mobile apps to create video ads. So if you want to create some video advertisements on Facebook, here's an additional resource for you to go and check out. So that brings us to the end of lesson 1. Let's go and explore what I have created for you in lesson 2. So here we are in lesson 2, we're going to talk about Facebook competition. Okay, as always, let's kick off with a quote. A flower does not think of competing to the flower next to it. It just blooms. Don't you just love that? We are all running our own race, but certainly in the context of competitions, the goals for this lesson is we'll look at key apps for running competitions. We'll have competitions that win your audience, so some suggestions on how to run successful Facebook competitions. Let's have a look here. So something that you may have noticed is that with your Facebook status, you can run competitions and even create offers organically straight through the platform. Now, when you create an offer, a discount or a deal, it's a matter of simply just when you click on that tile of having a title, telling your audience about the offer and what it requires. And this is where you could make the offer a competition for them to actually do something and put an expiry on that. So put a time, a date and a time on it. And you could use a platform like Canva or any of the tools that I shared with you all earlier to create a nice graphic that could say, you know, your chance to win or giveaway or something of that, or just win. So that's a tool within the native Facebook platform that you could explore. The benefits of running competitions is definitely an opportunity to build engagement, capture leads. So particularly if we're looking at competitions as an acquisition tool, and a way to build our database, we can ask, you know, by way of entry in exchange for signing up to something or exchange of an email, drive sales and build loyalty. The type of competition. So we are in the business of experiences. So the type of competitions, when you're looking at this, you don't always have to be thinking that you have to give your own product away. Give away what complements your experiences and what complements your products and services. And this is where also when it comes to the type of competitions that you run, research has shown that anything more than a 7-day anything up to a 7-day duration is best. Any longer than that and it can lose momentum, particularly for small competitions. I mean, you look at the big ones like win a car, they can be at a shopping center for a couple of weeks or even a month sometimes. But certainly for the type of competitions where we might be giving something, you know, to the value of $100 or a couple $100, a 7-day duration just to get that excitement is often best. Be sure to include very, very clear entry conditions with any type of competition that you might produce, and share, to be very specific and very clear on what they have to do to enter. Can ask for tag, particularly with Facebook. You can ask to be tagged or tag a friend in the comments, to repost it, comment, or mention, but not to share organically through the app. So that is the only thing that's looked down upon on Facebook, is that we're not encouraging users to share, because remember, they're protective of keeping that timeline in people's feeds free from advertising or business information that their users have not opted in for. Depending on your state, competition may require a permit, so just check with this. Now, luckily in Victoria we don't, but in New South Wales, if results are determined by chance, for example, a lucky draw, a permit is required. However, if results are determined based on skills, so an expert has judged the application or the process and then decided who they're going to give the winning product or the prize to, then a permit is not required. However, in Victoria, we have a lot more latitude, so we can either do a lucky draw chance or an expert. And no permit is required. But here I've just created some short URLs of links for more information on New South Wales laws and Victorian laws, consumer laws around contests. But certainly I've done my research for both of these for a client in the past, and we're good in Victoria, but be careful in New South Wales. Contra arrangements. These are brilliant. You don't get what you don't ask for. So if you have if you've got some great relationships with other suppliers, with partners, with anybody that you can exchange goods for by way of a contra that you can then use as leverage to run some competitions. So for example, I'll go back to the lovely business that I managed for a significant amount of time, Global Ballooning. So I would always do contra arrangements with accommodation providers. Now we have the hot air balloon flights, but we don't have accommodation. But certainly an overnight stay the night before you have to get up at the crack of dawn is a very valuable and highly desired experience for our clients. So what we would do, we would exchange, do a contra with accommodation. So we would give them a couple of vouchers for them to use for competitions or staff incentives, and they would do the same for us. And it was always so handy to use these as giveaways for our when it came to special occasions. Popular competition apps. So here I've got some different apps. We've got Tab Foundry, Contest Domination, Tab Site, Heyo Reflecopter, Page Modo, and Strutter. Now some of these have free trials, some of them are free, but most of them have a subscription. And these are contest and competition apps and resources and sites where you do have to pay a sum of money to subscribe to the platform, but they really do all the technical work around capturing emails for you. Like they provide the solution to facilitate the competition. So they become almost like the middleman between you and Facebook for you to load your to showcase and execute your competition effectively. Now, you don't need any app or special resource. Like certainly any competition I've done, it's something that I've creatively collaborated with someone. I always share the example, like around grand final day, it's topical, it's relevant, it's timely, the whole, everybody's watching it. So I would have accommodation that vouchers up my sleeves and be able to run a quick competition over a status update, and an image of the two teams that are playing the final that day, and be able to say the first one to guess the winning score, and by how many points by the time the siren goes and they start the game, will win. And it was very exciting, and yeah, got a lot of engagement. Not a free ride. So as I mentioned, most competition apps need a subscription, so they are not free. WooBox is another one for you to go and check out. Heyo and Short Stack. So here's a lot of resources for you to go and have a look to explore how you can best run your competitions. But certainly, as I mentioned earlier, have a brainstorm of what you can do, and chat to your other business colleagues of how you can work together to run some competitions. And that's something I've seen done brilliantly as well, where a group of products can get together and run a collective competition on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and then they can tag each other's business. So then if there's 4 of us, and I've got a social media community of 5,000, and you've got 2,000, and the other person's got 10,000, then for us to all showcase our get together collectively to offer a really good valuable prize, rather than me giving something that's $50. If we all give a $50 product, now it's a $200 product. But by way of collaborating, tagging each other, sharing each other's content, we're also getting each other in front of new audiences that would not have necessarily known about us. So that's a wrap on lesson 2 and competitions. I hope that you found that valuable, and you can get your creative juices flowing as to what are some competitions you can run this financial year for your business. Look at all the different occasions that are coming up. We're in winter now. Is there something you can do around winter? We've got what's coming up. We've got the grand final. I just made that reference, but in September, we've got the grand final. We've got Father's Day. After that, we've got Spring Racing Carnival, and spring will be in the air. And then, of course, Christmas. Have a think about these things. Look ahead into your calendar, and think about, okay, what are some key seasons and events that are directly related to my business, and in your marketing mix and in your campaign, what are some competitions I can run collaboratively, independently, or within your own local community. Okay, let's move on to lesson 3. Lesson 3. So this is a topic that I really love to talk about, because I've seen firsthand the benefits since Facebook Live has come on the scene, particularly with the Facebook platform. It's just been a game changer in the way that you can connect. If anything, the way you can really build, some real authentic relationships with your social media community and your Facebook community. But also I love it because it saves so much time. You can not only, it's not a matter of doing a video and then doing a mistake and retaking. It's just, this is me. It's just you. It is real time. It is raw, and you cannot get any more authentic to show your audience exactly who you are and who you represent than doing a Facebook Live environment. Starting off with a quote for lesson 3, we need to stop interrupting what people are interested in and be what people are interested in. I really like that one. So when we're looking at the goals for this lesson, Facebook Live explained what to do before, during and after a broadcast, and ways you can use Facebook Live for your beautiful business. Now, the benefits of live broadcasting is that you choose yourself. You become your own media. You don't have to wait for anyone to tap you on the shoulder to come and be the star of your business. You choose yourself to be the star of your business, or choose your business to be the star of Facebook. Accelerate the rate of your audience to get to know, like, and trust you. It is definitely a relationship building accelerator when you do Facebook Live videos. And it's a vehicle to share your experience, your leadership, courage, and ultimate unique selling proposition, which is, at the end of the day, the unique selling proposition of your business is you. It's your team. It's the people within your business. That's what makes us, because there's a lot of other people doing what you do, but the only difference that is made is the way you do it. Okay, so we have to really leverage these elements in our business too, because that passion of why you started and why you get up every day to do what you do, that's what people want to see. And that's where live broadcasting is I find is one of the greatest benefits. So 2 ways to broadcast live from Facebook. One way is that you can do it live from your Facebook app. So you go into your app and you create a status update, and then you can see the little red camera. That is the difference between uploading a video and setting it to go live. And once you hit live, you are ready to rock. You do your status update, you go live, and then after the live broadcast is finished, you have the opportunity to either post it, so you can post it as a video, or you can delete it, or you can even just save it onto your camera roll for later. So you've got some options there too. And that's what I always like to really remind you, that even though it's a live broadcast, doesn't mean you have to publish it afterwards. So if it's a live broadcast, it can mean that people can only get the chance to see you while it's live. But if you want it to stop there, you don't have to publish it afterwards, and for it to sit on your timeline and sit in your video channel. And take it a step back from that, you can also, even if you do publish it, and then you might see it and you say, oh, that looked funny, or I'm not happy with it anymore, you can always delete it. So there's really nothing will blow up, nothing scary will happen, and you've got options to not have it published anyway. The other way that you can do it is directly through your desktop. So you can actually do a Facebook Live on your desktop now. That wasn't the case. It only had started through Facebook, through the app. But now you can actually go ahead and sit at your desk, provided your screen, you've got a camera or a webcam. You can share your screen and do any type of educational content, or just share what you're up to from your directly from your desktop. And this is what that looks like. And see at the bottom here, you can give it a title, you can tag and optimize your posts. And this is what I meant earlier about having some more functionality, particularly with Facebook. You've got a level of more functionality available to you when you're doing things from your desktop, as opposed to when you do them through the mobile app. And here you can, it's like a FaceTime, or you can share the screen. So if you wanted to create some instructions for your audiences, where they need to go, or, instruction on how to use a particular product of yours, you can just go and sit in front of your desk and do a live broadcast and show them. It's really that easy. So here's me doing a live broadcast. I don't know where I was. I think I was, I must have been in a cafe somewhere. But see here, I can share on a page that I manage, and share on my timeline, share in a group, or share in an event page, or I can go in and just choose to do it live on a public business page. 4 areas of broadcasting is that it is available within Facebook. You can also do a live broadcast on your personal profile. You can do a broadcast on your business page, on your Facebook group, or in Facebook events. Now, some tips around what you should consider before you broadcast live. Where possible, give notice in advance to your audience that you'll be joining live. You just will increase your chances of people coming to view you. Write a compelling status. So actually in your status update, that's where give some thought. It's like a headline. So give them some thought of what you can write there. Again, to entice people to come along and watch your broadcast. Make sure your battery's charged fully. These live broadcasts can go through battery life quickly. So make sure it's your battery's charged fully, and that you might even have a power bank with you as well. Turn phone on do not disturb. I have had this happen to me about 3 times where I've forgotten to put on do not disturb, and halfway through the live broadcast I'll receive a phone call. So that's pretty awkward because it will just shut the live broadcast down. Where possible, connect to Wi-Fi, depending on the strength of the Wi-Fi. In some situations I have found that I'm better off going on my 4G network. Because Wi-Fi is not strong. So that's where, where you can have a chance to test a live broadcast, that is an ideal situation. Open camera and check surroundings, lighting and position. So certainly actually take some video, first. And I tend to do that. Take a video first, just in your video camera, just to test that everything's working okay. And that you're not too dark, because sometimes if you just go straight ahead and go live, and then you find while you're mid live streaming that, this is dark, I really should have set this up somewhere else, and so forth. So there's some things to consider before you do the live broadcast. And then during the broadcast, some things to consider is to always start off by introducing yourself and getting to the point really quickly. We need to make an impact really quick at the beginning to keep people staying with us. Always let your audience know what's in it for them. This is edutainment, so edu marketing. So have a bit of a plan is always handy. I can sometimes use post-it notes and put it on my screen, particularly if it's front facing, as long as it's not covering the lens, just to give me, more than anything, so I don't forget important points. So just put some dot points of the key elements of what I want to talk about. Let your personality shine. So what kind of value can you bring to their life? Be social, personal connections matter. So engaging and interacting. So I like to start, after you've introduced yourself, to actually acknowledge the audience that are coming on board. So you can normally see on a Facebook Live who's come to join you, any comments that may be shared. So where possible, acknowledging them and saying, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Where are you coming and joining us from today? So just asking some questions, as you would if you were face-to-face, taking some interest. When someone asks a question, say and state their name. So only you can normally see that in some scenarios. And always end with a call to action. So either telling them to join you on the next live broadcast, asking them to sign up to your newsletter, reminding them about an event you have coming up or a special you've got going on. Just always think, whatever that you're putting out there, what would be the end game to this? What is it that I will share at the end for them to come, to get a little bit, a step closer to my tribe. Then after the broadcast, some things to consider. When you finish, you can share as a post. You can save it as a video into your camera roll. The content can live on well after the broadcast. You can share the broadcast in other areas like YouTube. So I do that a lot. I will do a live broadcast. I post it and publish it to Facebook, but I'll also download the video onto my camera roll and upload it onto YouTube separately. It's all content. We've done the work. Why not, leverage and maximize and repurpose the content to get more bang out of our time. Transcribe video into a blog post. That's another gold mine. So whatever you have shared in your live broadcast, transcribe it, and there's a beautiful blog post that can land on your website, which is some food for thought. And find what can work for you and your business. So really look at this and see what can work for you by way of time. Like I know a business at the moment, every Friday morning at 9 o'clock, they have a different episode. And this is where, when I go back to that whole theory of choose yourself, we talked about product reviews earlier. Why not have that as a live broadcast? And certainly the best ones that I've seen work is when they are at the same time at the same on the same day, and people can preempt them. But you have to make sure that you're in a good place that you can show up and do that. So at the moment in my business and family life, that is something that I cannot sustain because I'm always, have different opportunities and different clients. I'm not in the same place doing the same work repeatedly day after day. It is always moving and changing. So my strategy is that at least at a minimum 1 or 2 live broadcasts a week. And that way I still have a metric to try and aspire to and that it gets done. But certainly when I experimented and I did 3 consecutive weeks of showing up and doing a live broadcast at 10 o'clock every day, that was one of the most successful campaigns that I had ever done. But certainly at the moment, it wasn't something I could sustain it for those 3 weeks to clear the schedule every day for those mornings. But certainly moving forward, what that experiment highlighted to me and for my business community and for my students is that this really, really works. And it's an amazing way to quickly generate content for your business. So certainly that experiment taught me also to keep doing it, and I have been ever since. Things to note: if it's meant to be, it's up to me. It can be daunting. I remember the first time I did a live broadcast, I was more nervous than speaking in front of 200 people, and I was by myself just in front of the camera, and I don't even think anyone really showed up to that live broadcast. But yeah, it was all in my head. So there's no, like I said earlier, nothing bad will happen. If anything, you'll feel really good that you've done something great for your business. If you don't market yourself and your business, something terrible will happen. Nothing. This is a quote I remind myself every day to just get on with it and do the work. The more organized you have a strategy and schedule, the better. And this is in all elements, not just your Facebook Live, but your content marketing and your social media plans. Is the more organized you can have that and think about the themes that matter for your audience and the content that you can best add value, the better you will succeed. Through practice and consistency, you will build your broadcasting muscle. Just like anything, the more you show up and do the work, the easier it will get and the more benefits and rewards that you will reap. 10 Facebook Live suggestions for your business. So behind the scenes is one. Sharing a little bit of you, getting in front of the camera. Hold live question and answer sessions with your audience. Ask Me Anything Tuesday. I've seen someone do. Teach and educate, like a teaching segment. Share an event, host interviews, showcase your latest product, broadcast at an event. So if you're going to any type of trade show or something like that, that would be an amazing opportunity for you to do a live broadcast. Share your customer stories in a live broadcast, and certainly repurpose video. So repurpose this as video for your YouTube, and then you can embed it onto your website as well. You can also embed the Facebook Live. I've also done that too. I've done a Facebook Live and then I've embedded that interview or that particular piece of content that I've done into a blog post. It's beautiful and it adds a lot of variety, and it adds a lot of and it adds some good valuable content. So I say to people, if you don't want to read this when I have transcribed a video or a live broadcast, I'll also put the broadcast video into the blog, and then let my people know, hey, I've got your back. If you don't have the time to read, maybe you just want to watch the video, here it is. So that's some good tips for you there. Last but not least, I want to share with you a 6-step blog template for any topic. So this is where you can create a blog or a vlog, I should say a blog or a video template. To start with, think of your title, which is the most important aspect of your content effort, is your headline. Then your introduction to your topic, introduction to yourself, remember, and why it matters to your audience. Then it's a matter of presenting a challenge. What is the current problem or the challenge around this topic that you're talking about. So say, for example, for me, a live broadcast could be, hi there, my name is Despina Karatis for Institute of Excellence. Today we're going to talk about all the changes on Facebook that have happened recently and how they will affect your business. Now the challenge here is that they are such a big organization that more than often we are not kept up to speed when these changes are happening until the very last minute. There's just an example of how you would lead into, if you were doing a video, how you would introduce, you've got your headline. The headline could be something, what every business must know about the new Facebook changes. Something dramatic that you must read this or you must watch this if you want to keep on top of your Facebook A game. So then, you do your introduction, then we've proposed a challenge, and then you provide the solution. Okay, here are 4 things that you need to do right now to protect yourself. Go into your privacy settings and Okay, so list your solutions, your findings, your recommendation, inspiration, and add in those. And then if you're going to translate this video or this blog post, then put in some subheadings around that. And then after that, you want to summarize. So let's look at what we talked about here today. Number 1, you want to make sure that your privacy settings, okay? So you want to backtrack and just lock in what you've just said. And last but not least, if we were all in a room together and I would get you to guess, I would say, what do you think would be number 6 in the flow of our content template that can be applied to any type of content, whether it's a blog or a video? You guessed it, it's call to action. So you want to be able to finish off with a bang and say, so if you want to hear more about this, come and check out X, okay? Or come and see us when we're going to be at this event. Come and see us there. So anything that will elicit a response. Okay, so that brings us to the end of module 2, my dear friends, Facebook Content 101. And we looked at things to summarize. We explained what content is and defined content marketing versus just content and what are the different types of content. We looked at edu marketing and our roles in educating our audiences. We looked at different competitions and the great ways that we can collaborate and use competitions to collaborate. And we touched on the last lesson there on Facebook Live and all you need to know about live broadcasting. So I hope that gives you enough confidence and courage there to give this a go yourself. To finish off with a quote, you are the media. Content marketing is not a campaign, it's a commitment, and you got this. My friends, that's coming from my heart to yours. If you want, I've got share a selfie here. So if this is something, I would love this so much. If you share a selfie with me on, you can text it to me or you can post it on Facebook and just tag Be Excellent HQ or tag Despina Karatis, and I will definitely share it and scream it from the rooftop. So I'd just love to see who has how you're engaging with this content. As always, if there's any questions, comments, feedback, please reach out. I would love to hear from you. And until next time for our finale, actually, for Facebook advertising and Instagram, I wish you all the excellence in the world, and I wish you all the Facebook content success in the world. So until then, be excellent, be good today and every single day. Okay, bye for now.